Hello everyone, Carlos Flores, back on basics. So, before we begin this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel at Back on Basics 9985. Hit the notification button so you can get notified of any new videos that come on board. If you have a comment, suggestion, topic, feedback, put it in the comment section. And if you want me to give you my take on any topic, put it in the comment section as well. If you want to connect with me on social media outlets, on Facebook, you can search for me, Carlos Flores Jr. On Instagram, on X, and on Threads, you can type in at Back on Basics. On WhatsApp, you can type in at Back on Basics 9985. So, let's talk about how to work smarter than harder. I mean, a lot of us have done that. I've done that. I mean, I have lower back pain from when I hurt myself lifting a water bottle because I wasn't thinking. I just thought, okay, I'll just yank it with my strength. And sometimes, your strength or force or physical activity doesn't have to be that focused. And so, because there's other ways to do it. For example, I'll give you a quick example. When our kids went off to college, and remember I've said in other videos that I've taught them how to check the oils and the fluids and the tire pressures and everything. But changing the tire is very unique because if you know that more than likely, what you're going to have in the trunk of your car whenever you're changing a tire is, of course, the jack, right? But jack has an L-shape tool that cranks the jack, and sometimes it can be used for, for taking off the lug nuts in each of the wheels. The thing is that takes forever, and it takes a lot of strength. I mean, it takes a lot of strength to just do that because you have to tighten, right? You have to tighten the lug nuts so that way the tires don't fall off. So, what my dad taught me, what my cousin taught me, may he rest in peace, Jungle, is that instead of using the L shape, right, lug nut tool, then he did with me, with my brother. I'm doing it with both of our kids. So I bought him a cross lug nut tool. And so what happens is, instead of using just one side and try to crank it, and even if you step on it, I mean, it's gonna take a while for it to budge. The cross one, you can actually grab it from both sides and use opposite force, right? The nice thing about it is that you can just kick it and it will twist. And once you kind of get it loose, then it is simple because you can just grab onto one side and just do that. So, I mean, why hurt yourself? And I know it doesn't happen all the time. But why hurt yourself with the L bracket when you can spend a little bit of money, not a lot, in investing in a cross shape lug nut that fits different lug nut sizes. And so I have one. Actually, all of the cars that we own have it because it's easier to do that. It's easier to use it. It's when you're using your strength, but you can also use momentum, right? You can use momentum to do that. And that's the reason why I started thinking, because, it's easier to work smarter or use your focused mind to look at different ways to completing something that may, normally you would use your brute strength. And so, it's amazing that once you start looking at different things, then you actually start transferring that success to other things. For example, right? It's sometimes it's hard whenever you're carrying like a bucket of water, let's say, right? And so you're taking the bucket of water, so that way you're taking it all the way, to water the plants. That's what I do. We catch water because the water runs cold for a little bit and then it gets warm, so the cold water goes out, right? And so a lot of the times it's hard to go all the way out to the trees, right, in the front, and then just dump it. Not all the time. I mean, when it's cold, then it does. But if you're thinking this way, right, what is the closest tree or brush or shrub or flower or pot that pot plotting planting pot that I can go and just, right? I'm not lifting a heavy bucket of water all the way out. I'm just going to do it nearby because they will need water. So again, I just adapt a little bit. Remember, I've been saying that you adapt a little bit. So you work smarter than harder. You work with a focused mind instead of using your brute strength. Now, I'm not saying that using your brute strength is bad, because sometimes you have to do it. I mean, it is what it is, right? But, people have come up with different techniques on how to do things. Not the lazy way. It's more like the smart way, like the easier way, right? Why are you going to hurt your body time after time after time? So that way you can get things done. I mean, it's hard sometimes to focus on something, and sometimes automatically, and especially with guys, I'm going to tell you that we go with the brute strength first, and then we start looking at different ways to do it without that. But let's change that around for everybody. Why don't we look at what we have in front of us? It's kind of like a puzzle, right? And say, okay, what other ways can I do this? And then you go with it. I mean, it is what it is, right? Another example that I can give you is my grandfather and one of my uncles, one of my grandfather's brothers. I mean, they both planted corn and beans and tomatoes. They planted so many different things in the ground. And so they were using, right? They were using their back a lot. They were using their arms to carry these heavy bags of whatever that they needed, fertilizer or whatever else. And so when they got to their older age, I mean, their backs were not straight anymore. They were just hunched over. And so, my grandfather, one of the last few times that I talked to him, he's like, work smarter, not harder. If I would have known that, if I would have just gotten like a wheelbarrow and just take things out, or if I would have loaded stuff into a cart, and maybe get driven or get towed by oxen. I mean, there were oxen in El Salvador. He used to do that. He used to drive a cart with oxen long time ago when I was a young kid. I mean, instead of carrying it on your back or putting a lot of load on your back. So again, I'm giving you these examples because every single situation, every activity that you're doing, there is a hard way to do it, and there's an easier way to do it. I'm not saying it's an easy way to do it. It's an easier way to do it. Sometimes you just have to look. You just have to think critically, so that way you can see what other options it is instead of using your brute force. Again, don't be like me. I mean, in college, and that was in the 90s, that's when I lifted that water bottle. It actually it actually hurt one of my it hurt one of my discs in my lower back. And so thank goodness that I have lost weight, so there's not much stomach to to gravitate me forward. That's one of the things that I would recommend for some of you to do, is just try to be as fit as possible. I'm not saying to be like perfect. I mean, today I weighed myself, I think I was like 210, 209. I haven't been this consistent ever. I have not. I was a yo-yo. I went up, I went down, I went up, I went down, I went up, up, down, 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 up, up. I mean, so I learned that I need to work smarter. I need to focus my mind and see, okay, how can I do this easier instead of using my brute strength? And believe me, I used a lot of my brute strength. I mean, sometimes this hand, it aches because this is my dominant hand. I'm a left-hander. I'm a lefty. And so it was hammering, using a sledgehammer. I mean, breaking bricks with a bar, digging with a shovel, you name it. And so, I mean, again, use your mind, focus your mind, so that way you can find a way to limit the force that you're going to use with your body. So that way, you can be healthier. It will help you. It will help you physically longer. But again, right? Again, it's something that we don't think about right away, because all we want to do is just get this done. And so we just use our brute strength. We just use our physical strength. So next time you're in front of something that you need to do, look at it from different perspectives and decide to do it the smarter way, or the focused mind way, than using your brute strength. Believe me, you're gonna appreciate it in the long run as you get older, and your muscles are not as flexible or as before. The less stress that you put on them, the more you'll be able to be extent of your physical, mental, and emotional abilities. So, subscribe to my YouTube channel at Back on Basics 9985. Hit the notification button so you can get notified of any new videos that come on board. Again, right? Focus your mind. Do things smarter, not harder. Don't put too much pressure on your body, because those things that you do with brute force, they add up. Believe me, they do add up. Till next time, Back on Basics.